Aaron? Where is Aaron right now?
Hi.
You done messed up, Aaron!
Alright, so I already know why you guys are here. You guys see it. It's broken. Well, the car's not broken, there's no engine. Unless you want to count me as an engine. I'll probably make, not even 4, I'll probably make like 0.4 horsepower. I don't know. But yeah, so there's no engine because I'm sitting where the engine would be. If you follow my Instagram, you would know that I recently sold my 13B that sat here previously. So the reason I sold said engine is, I rebuilt it, and you guys followed me probably from Gatlinburg, and you saw that I lost the coolant seal. So no, I didn't lose the apex seal. Go ahead and make the apex seal. No, nothing wrong with the apex seal. It was fine. I lost the coolant seal in Gatlinburg because it started overheating, and I was in the middle of nowhere and couldn't stop driving it. So I kept driving it, lost the coolant seal, blah, blah, blah. Pulled the motor and went to rebuild it myself. I was like, oh yeah, I got this. Rebuilt it. I go to start it and it didn't start. And the compression was so low that the compression tester didn't even move. Yeah, to the point where I thought something was wrong with the compression tester. I was like, yo, so this tester is broken. I need to know. What had happened was, when I was doing the rebuild, so this right here is an apex seal. Can you guys see? That's an apex seal, if you haven't seen one before. So this is the apex super seal. Oh man, for the fancy boys at home. So the apex seal sits on the apex, math terms, the apex of the rotor. So there's 3 of them on each rotor. And under the apex seal are 2 springs. The springs pretty much push this guy out to keep it seated. What you're supposed to do is to have your apex seal. So you have your rotor and you're putting this seal in. You had your seal sitting like halfway out, and then you're supposed to put the springs in and push it all down as one piece, right? That's what you're supposed to do. Me being, who I am, I saw someone do it a different way. I was like, oh, that way looks cool, that way looks better. I put the springs in one at a time. Yeah, that didn't work. Well, it worked. I thought it worked. I got them all in. I put everything back together, spun the motor over by hand, and heard like, all right, cool. We have compression. It's great. Let's do it. Now, a few of you guys have sent me DMs on Instagram saying, hey, why didn't you check the compression by putting the bell housing on? My trans was still in the car, by the way. I didn't take the trans out. I just pulled the motor. Why didn't you just take the bell housing off and put it on the motor, attach the starter, and check your compression before you put it back in? I'm like, all right, yeah, great. That would have been nice to know a month ago. I didn't think about that. So I could have pulled it back out and rebuilt it again. I sat and I thought, and I was like, what could I put in this car that's not a 2-rotor that's crazy? What's crazy? But what can I pop the hood and make it crazy enough for me to walk out every day and go, man, I really enjoy this car. I love this car. This car's crazy. And, a few things went through my mind. I was like, I could do this swap. I could do this swap. I could do this swap. I was like, man, what's the best thing to do? Yeah, that's why you're here today, because you want to know what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to write down on a sheet of paper and show you guys what I'm going with. I'm doing,
Psych! That's the wrong number!
So no, come on, everybody knew that was a joke, right? That was a joke. Okay, good. Take your finger off the unfollow button. That was, all right. Don't burn me at the stake. that was just a joke, though. I'm not gonna do an LS swap. No hate to my friends that have LS swapped Rx7s. Like, that's cool. I think that's neat, and I love to see them. And I'm like, hey, that's great. If you enjoy your LS Swap RX-7, then I love it just as much as you love it for you. I'm like, that's great, and I want to see you drive it, and I want to see you make really aggressive V8 noises all the time. Like, that's cool. That's just not for me. You know, the rotary was one of the reasons why I wanted an RX-7 in the first place. So I feel like taking the rotary out of an RX-7 would kind of, I don't know, take away from the appeal for me. Now, whatever swap you do, that's great, and I love it, and I think they're all great. And send me DMs so I can look at them too. It's great. But that's not what I'm doing. So that should give you a pretty big hint that I'm going to stick with a rotary engine. All right. So this is what I'm actually gonna do. A 26B 4-rotor. Right? Kind of crazy, huh? I'm pretty excited about it, you know? I'm not kidding this time, you know? I'm not gonna throw this one away and go, oh, psych. So no, this is what I'm gonna do. I don't know if you guys are up on your history or anything, rotary history. So you can't just go buy a 4-rotor unless somebody has built one and, you know, has it for sale. The 4-rotor wasn't produced in any car. It was in the 787B Mazda that won the Le Mans race in 1991. It was in that vehicle, but it wasn't a mass-produced engine. So the 3-rotor was produced in a car. The 4-rotor was not. So you can't just go, you know, find a car that had a 4-rotor and import the engine. That's not how it works. So the 4-rotor is essentially, you know, if you guessed it, two 13Bs put together. So it's not exactly that easy either. You can't just get two 13Bs, slap it together, because you got this thing that runs through the middle called the eccentric shaft. And, you know, I think I saw in the forums of somebody somehow machining two 13B eccentric shafts together and it worked. You know, maybe that works. I don't know. That's not what I'm doing, but maybe that works. I'm not sure. So it's a lengthy process because most of the stuff you get to build this motor is custom. So luckily, the guys over at Eccentric Motorsports, I met them at Gatlinburg and we talked about a 3-rotor for a little while. And after that, I got home and, you know, I went to work and daydreamed a little bit. I was like, yo, I was talking about doing a 3-rotor and we were going to do it. And I randomly came to them and was like, hey guys, what if we do a 4-rotor? And they've built other 4-rotors before. So, you know, they're going to know exactly what to do. So big shout out to them. I'm going to post a few photos here that they sent me from the shop of a 4-rotor eccentric shaft if you haven't seen one before, you know, so you can get an idea what we're looking at.
Jack up, working with a monster.
Oh my god! Wow! Oh my god!
Jack up, working with a monster.
Yeah, so it's going to be a little bit of a journey just because of the amount of custom things we're going to need. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. So we're going to do a 4-rotor with a full race port. Shout out to my friends that have, you know, tried to educate me on the different ports available and, you know, how streetable my car will be with certain ports. Like, shout out to Mark. I talked to Mark for maybe, you know, 30-45 minutes one night, and he was not trying to get me to not do a 4-rotor, but telling me, you know, a lot of things I might not know about how streetable it's going to be. You know, if you guys know me, you know I like to drive my cars, I like to drive them hard. I've driven that RX-7 10 hours one way multiple times. So it's I like to drive this car, and Mark knows that. So he was trying to tell me that, hey, you know, you're not going to be able to do these 10-hour trips in a 4-rotor RX-7. Like, that's dead for you. And, you know, I really appreciate that. And, you know, he gave me a lot of things to think about. But I think I'm going to go ahead and yeah, go ahead and do it. So big shout out to the guys at Eccentric Motorsports. Yeah, shout out to Zachariah. We've been talking about this build for day and night for, you know, weeks, and no matter when I messaged them, they're right back quick with a response explaining everything that I had a question about, which I have a lot of questions. You know, I don't pretend to be rotary guru. I won't ever pretend to be rotary guru. You know, I'll still have a lot to learn myself. And so, yeah, that's about it, guys. You know, thanks for watching and hanging around. Here's the RX-7. I'll let you see it. It's in bad shape. So yeah, there she is. Don't laugh at my hood. It's not actually on. we just propped it here. So when I towed it, I didn't have to move the hood around. I can't even find the hood pin at this point. It's under there somewhere. Yeah, so here she is, guys. So I'm gonna attempt to actually, you know, keep you guys informed this time. I know I say that every time, but I'm gonna try to do better this time.